Far more than we think. Making Sense of Spirituality by Angelo. Chapter 35. Practice Makes Perfect. The practice that I keep referring to is the practice of meditation. The following chapter covers meditation in more detail, but for now, the key point to make is that meditation has to be done on a regular basis in order for the benefits to accrue. The reason practice is so important in spirituality is that our egos and subconscious minds are so powerful that we will quickly revert to type if we don't maintain vigilance. This may sound like acting against our own will, and indeed that is exactly what it is. Our own will is the whole problem. Our own will keeps us trapped in fear, whereas what we really want is to be happily cocooned in love. The spiritual way forward is to diminish our own will, and this is why repetitive practice is essential. It is my experience and observation that the more we put into our practice, the more quickly we grow. The danger is that we achieve a certain amount of good progress and then relax back into our old habits once improvements start to flow. I've seen this happen time and time again, and have been guilty of it myself. The irony is that our ego will attempt to take credit for the progress we've made, and we will think that we are the architects of our own growth. The other thing that happens is that life gets busy, or even busier, and the first thing to be sacrificed is our regular practice. The truth is that it's the practice that brings about the improvements, and not us. We are not the cause of our own growth. Granted, we make the decision to practice, but it's not the decision that makes the difference. The decision is just a decision. The growth comes from what we then choose to do. It's the action that we take that allows us to grow. And just like a plant, our spirituality will wither and die if we stop watering it. However strong and healthy a plant may be, it will eventually suffer if it's starved of what it needs. It's impossible for a plant to stand still. It either grows and flourishes, or it dies. And this is the simple truth of spirituality. Daily practice will keep us happily moving forwards, but if we stop, we will regress and undo much of the good work. Most of us, at least once in our lives, have started a new hobby or daily routine with great intention and enthusiasm, only for it to lapse after a short time. Health clubs base their entire business model on this basic aspect of human nature. If everyone made full use of their subscription, the gyms would be swamped. There will predictably be a surge in activity each January following annual resolutions to get fit, but things always quieten down again after the novelty wears off. Many of us have a tendency to self-sabotage for all sorts of subconscious reasons, such as fear of change, fear of failure, or even fear of success. Self-sabotage will lead us to procrastination and denial of healthy intentions, and will also cause overindulgence in self-abusive substances and behaviours. Self-sabotage is a common part of human nature, and is another hurdle that we must overcome in order to gain the riches within. I've devoted this short chapter to this one key message, because failure to grasp the importance of daily practice can cause many to lose momentum. The best intentions in the world will evaporate in the face of conflicting priorities. We need to keep practicing our meditations every single day if we want to capture all that is available to us. This means finding time to meditate even when we're short of time, stressed, feeling unwell, feeling angry and upset, or just feeling that we can't be bothered. We need to be grateful even when we are feeling anything but grateful. The ego will constantly try to trick us into abandoning spiritual practice, especially in the early days, but we need to override ego and apathy and just do it anyway. The great thing about meditation is that we can do it in the comfort of our own homes at any time of day or night. Whatever contrary indications we may have picked up from different cultures or religions, there are no rules or consequences of failure other than restricting our own growth. There's no ideal time or method or environment. Our ego will come up with all sorts of reasons why we can't do it, but the truth is there's nothing to stop us other than ourselves. Many will read this book but then perhaps not follow through on the simple actions suggested to gain the keys to freedom and happiness. This is something that can be avoided. Make a decision now to practice meditation on a daily basis and then stick to it. Don't place any expectations on what may or may not happen as a result. Just do it and keep doing it, and growth will inevitably come sooner or later. It will eventually become as much a part of the daily routine as brushing your teeth, but what perhaps starts as a bit of an effort will quickly turn into a daily pleasure. Meditation is our time to devote to our own growth. Meditation is an act of self-love that we are entitled to and indeed deserve. There's no excuse to deny ourselves, but beware the ego, because it will work tirelessly to find one. Practice makes perfect. We will never be perfect, of course, but the spiritual practice of meditation will gradually take us in that direction, whatever our starting point may be.